wine. It's not just something Resident Evil fans do when a game comes out in first person. It's also a popular drink dating back thousands of years to all corners of the globe. From Chiantis with fava beans to black flies in your Chardonnay.
And isn't it ironic?
To poisonous battles of wit.
Inconceivable!
Wine is not always just a fun and relaxing libation, and in Resident Evil Village, we can see that firsthand. In fact, wine is everywhere in Castle Dimitrescu. Not again. Wine is everywhere in Castle Dimitrescu. Good enough. And it appears to be the backbone of this evil family's history. But with their vampire-like tendencies, the wine may be a cover for something more horrifying. Blood? Shh. So, let's take a look at the history of wine, how wine is part of Castle Dimitrescu, and what secret ingredient... Blood? Dude. And what secret ingredient... It's blood! Bro. And what secret ingredient... Fine, it's blood. The secret ingredient is blood. Are you happy? We'll take a look at all that in our latest RE Theory
Breakdown.
Let's take a look at Ethan Winter.
So we finally meet.
Let's start with some history. In real life, Romania is one of the biggest wine producers in the world. They have a winemaking tradition that goes back 6,000 years. The Dimitrescu family also has a great winemaking tradition. That dates back 600 years. If you walk around the castle grounds, you can see that this winemaking process is still going on. From the wine dungeon, cellar, to the tasting room on the second floor, wine is a big part of this castle. Like with many great traditions, the Dimitrescu winemaking is grounded in a specific process passed down generation to generation with a special family technique. No, that's not it. With a special family technique that is still being used today by current winemaker Alcina. This special technique gives the wine a thick bouquet, which are layers of smells and aromas that come from sniffing the wine. And while it never mentions it specifically, we have to assume the technique is infusing the grapes or wine with blood. With her signature wine sold in an ornamental bottle with the family signature on the outside, Lady D is almost hiding the family secret in plain sight, even going as far to call it Sanguis Virginis. Translation, maiden's blood. Wait a minute, maiden's blood? We're a maiden, trapped in a cell. Uh-oh. Now it's all starting to make sense. There looks to be draining cells, and a bucket of blood still remains sitting in one of them. The leaking red wine has a new feeling to it when we look at it now. There's even this one is way too easy. A dead maiden in a barrel? Quality ingredients are key in winemaking, and looking around the village area, it seems kinda desolate and barren. So maybe Lady D gets her grapes shipped in, or maybe she uses the next best thing on hand, blood. If so, much like grapes, it takes a special kind to get that amazing flavor. So you'd think Lady D is in search of some good quality blood. Perhaps there's a certain blood type, or a type of person's blood, virgin, whose blood will give the wine that signature taste. That might even explain this list of candidates we found in the castle. Yeah, it could be candidates to become witches or vampires, but it might also be a list of maidens and whether or not they have the right blood type, or if they are virgins or not. And speaking of unique blood, what about baby Rose the kidnapped? Her blood is a mix of two people infected with a regenerative mold and has to be somehow special. Perhaps that is why she has been taken. Her blood is a special ingredient. Now let's forget about winemaking for a minute and focus on the blood alone. We know the Dimitrescus love blood.
Man blood.
Whether they are making it appear via slashing, to biting it out of people, to drinking or eating it, to straight up sucking it out of people's veins, blood is huge. The game seems to be hiding the reasoning for the blood behind vampire lore and occult mythology, and you can learn more about that in our last 2 videos. But come on, this is Resident Evil. It has to be connected to an Evelyn mold from RE7, or the progenitor virus, or Spencer's Quest for Youth, or something Umbrella. That narrows the possibilities down to a million. But let's look at the main influence of Lady D herself, a serial killer named Elizabeth Bathory. The aptly named Blood Countess murdered to get precious blood that helped her stay young. So maybe there are deeper Umbrella reasons to see, but for an aging Lady D who may miss her glamour days, being young might be her key motivation. It would explain our theory she's immortal, since the demo takes place in the late 50s, and in 2020, she looks the same. Now imagine when they get their hands on Rose's blood. Back to wine, there is a chance that the best or most tasty way to ingest this magic blood is by drinking it in wine. That could explain the winery. But in order to do all this bloody sacrifice stuff in the 21st century, you have to keep it on the DL. And what better way to do that than to pose as legit winemakers and keep the authorities off your back. Plus, while wine income might be helpful to them, there might even be more cash in blood trafficking. Nothing to see here, just a shipment of red wine. All we know is the wine is there for a reason, but the blood is the key to something. Thanks for checking out our last 3 videos on Lady D, the family, the wine, the blood, and all of that. Be sure to leave your comments in the comments about these topics. To stay up to date on everything RE Village, from news to theories, be sure to follow Where's Barry B on Twitter. Click like on this and other videos, and don't forget to subscribe.